Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez.
From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Hello, everyone. This is Ken Mejia-Beal, your Hump Day honey. And unfortunately, Patti is not here today, but you have me, and we're going to drive it home and have an amazing guest co-host. Demi Palecek is in the building with us today. Hi, Demi. How are you?
Hi, everyone.
Can you tell? I mean, you've been on how many times now?
I don't even know anymore. I love it, though.
No, we like having you here. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, hi, I'm Demi Palecek. You may have seen me on the news. I am one of the National Guard members. There's only actually two of us who spoke out against Trump's illegal orders for us to work with ICE or protect ICE. Also turned down that, said that we should not be going to war with Iran. I'm also running for 13th District State Representative, so won my primary.
Yes.
And do a lot of mutual aid, so you may remember me.
Well, I love having you here because you're always positive and you always bring a fresh light and a fresh lens into everything. But speaking of, so this is the crazy part for me, and I have to ask you. So speaking out against this illegal war in Iran, are there a lot of folks behind the scenes that agree but just won't say anything? Or, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, on the veteran front, so actually I was arrested in the Rotunda in Washington, D.C. a couple months ago.
Yes, you were.
And so there was about 150 veterans and 75 of us got arrested. So the veterans are very much like, when we got back to the house and we were all together again, they were like, this was more meaningful than my entire service.
Wow, that's deep.
And they're like, I think of like the people's eyes or like the blood in the sand. And I never want anyone else to have to go through that. And even now, people who are still in the military, our retention is insanely down. Joining the military is insanely down.
That's not surprising.
And they can keep putting out these fake reports, but like that is not what we see on the ground,
Right.
And how many people are getting out is crazy.
So the retention is not good right now.
No, not at all.
Okay. And see, these are the things that they don't talk about on Fox News.
Of course not.
And these commercials but it doesn't surprise me because I will tell you this. I think being in the military is hard.
Yes.
And regardless of where you stand on war, it's a hard job, and these folks put their life on the line. I would be very uncomfortable putting my life on the line with a madman at the helm of the. I would not feel comfortable.
I don't disagree with you. I don't feel comfortable. And, in case a lot of people don't know, Pete Hegseth is doing a lot to hurt us in the military. If you're black or brown or women, he's gotten rid of all of our sexual harassment protections, essentially. They go nowhere. Any of our equal opportunity reporting goes nowhere. He's gotten rid of a lot of waivers, like African-American men.
With the beard.
With the shaving waiver. And so, like, people are bleeding and like getting like huge sores from having to shave, but they're doing that on purpose because they want to whitewash the military.
And for those of you who don't know, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. For black men in particular, because of our coarse hair, we cannot shave every day. We have to wait for the hair to kind of penetrate the root, or you get a lot of ingrown hair. For those listeners who are not quite aware of black hair, is a whole. There are so many documentaries on black hair, so it's very complicated. But it's you cannot shave every day. I have a lot of friends who their kids were like the first black kids in private schools, and that became a thing where they had to go to these private schools and say, "Hey, my kid cannot shave every day," and they would have to educate. But someone in his position knows this, and is just doing it out of pure racism, and I don't think it's ignorance. I think it's just racism.
No, I mean, because they did the case studies in order to get the waivers.
Right.
You know what I mean? To begin with. So you have to just completely throw all of that out, throw all of, watching him throw out all of the religions.
Elaborate on that.
So you can, if you need a waiver for something, if you're a certain religion, like if you're of Sikh or anything like that, or even on our dog tags, you can put your religion. He got rid of a lot of those that are recognized.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is, wow. Well, wow. We're gonna pivot a little bit because I don't want to bring us down in the first half of the show. But I'm so happy you're here. Something that we talked about off air is I'm actually leaving for Amsterdam tomorrow.
So jealous and excited for you.
Come with me next year.
I will.
It's World Gay Pride, and I've definitely done a lot of research, and I'm very I'm very aware of what happened in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it's so important. Pride. This is why Pride everywhere is so important, because there are still people that hate.
Yeah.
Period. Hate to the point of killing. And so I will be there, partying it up. If you follow me on Instagram, there will be lots of thirst traps. Feel free to like them, comment, DM. That's what I'm here for. But you mentioned something about Gerber? Yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah, Gerber Hart LGBTQ Library.
Yes.
It's in, shout out to Kelly Cassidy, state representative.
Love Kelly.
It is in her district,
Yes.
and we got to tour it the other day. And it was just such a happy place, and like, you know, and where we're being bombarded with awful, dark, scary news every day.
Yeah.
Like, it was just amazing to go with all of them and feel hope again and feel love again. And the back, so the beginning, like the middle is a library, right?
Okay.
It's above Howard Brown. And
okay.
yeah, and so
Okay.
then you go into a library and it's all LGBTQ or ally authors or anything like that. And then the back, they have like a whole temperature secure room of everything. So
like archives and stuff.
Yes. And so again, LGBTQ or ally. Greg Harris has like a huge, a ton of stuff back there from his office and everything he did. So I'm excited for them to get his exhibit out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I want to do a bunch of cool events there.
I'll come.
Yeah, please, it's your district.
Yes.
And you know, Dolly Parton has done so much for the LGBTQ
Yes, she has.
community and Illinois and books. So I
Yes.
was like, okay, we have to get Dolly here somehow and do a cool event.
If I will personally sing 9 to 5 if I see her, and I know that would be embarrassing, but I love Dolly. And it's funny, I will tell you this, Greg Harris is a really good friend of mine. We try to do brunch once a month. And the people that come up to him on the street and just thank him for his service, I sometimes forget that he is the Greg Harris. And it's like, oh yeah, you're like somebody.
Yeah.
Like he's accomplished so much in his career and his work and just his life and leading with purpose. He leads with purpose.
Yeah.
So I definitely have to, and it's the Gerber Hart
LGBTQ library.
LGBTQ library. I know how it's a lot of letters.
Yeah, 6500 North Clark.
6,500. That's walking distance from my house.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out. And it's open now, or
I think double check the times, but definitely on the weekends. They definitely would love volunteers as well. Research volunteers. They want to do a ton of events and just kind of outreach and just do cool things to have loving community again.
And do you have any events coming up?
You know, actually, that's hilarious. I am getting a whole Rolodex, a whole calendar ready. My team and I are going to finalize it tomorrow of like the next 6 months of cool mutual aid events all around the district. So anything from like, you know, I've talked about Sandwich for Solidarity on here a couple of times, do that monthly. And then, you know, as we get into going back to school season, giving book bags. And
I can't believe we're almost there again.
I don't know how like summer's over going to the end.
It's like August already.
I know. I'm not going back to school, but it just is sad.
I feel like as an adult though, we're always in school and we just don't get a break.
Right.
Like we're always, it's never a break. So we're going to have you back then to talk about all the events that you're planning, but you're not going anywhere today. I have you all day. I'm super excited. And for those of you that are just tuning in, the voice you're hearing is Demi Palecek. Her website is Demi for Illinois. That's FORIllinois.com. And I am Ken Mejia-Beal, the Hump Day Honey. And Patty is out today. And we have a great show ahead of you. We're going to do a lot of talking. We do want to hear from you. So you definitely call in. You can call now at 773-763-WCPT. That is 773-763-9278. And Lady B will be answering those phone calls. So always remember, this show would be nothing without Lady B. Be nice to her. Because I would just go talking, and I need somebody. We're going to have Peter Burgelis, who is a really good friend of mine whose name I cannot pronounce. He's going to call in from Milwaukee. And we have a recording from Jason Salmon. It's 2 parts. It's going to be a great show. So with that said, we're going to go take a little break. And myself and Demi will be right back to drive it on home.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
We need to speak out about this.
At 773-763-9278.
Hello.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Hello, hello. It's Ken Mejia-Beal, the Hump Day Honey, and I am in the studio today with Demi Palecek, just a kick-ass person, and I cannot wait for you to get sworn into office. It cannot happen soon enough, and we're going to be driving it home with you today. You can listen to, rate, and share the Driving It Home full episodes and featured interviews podcasts. They're both available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeart, YouTube, and Amazon Music. Search for Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez or visit our podcast page at heartlandsignal.com/podcast. Recent additions to Patty's featured interviews podcasts are Chevy Humphrey, president of the Museum of Science and Industry, who talks about the new Anne Frank exhibit, Ashley Awney, minority leader of the Missouri House, Katie Dunn and Sarah Brown of Rebel Health Charities, and Kirk Bangstead, CEO and founder of Minocqua Brewing Company and the Minocqua Marketplace. And we want to thank everyone who's watching us in the future land at Minocqua on YouTube, on Facebook. We are everywhere, and a bunch of other things. And I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Source Solar, Peter Sorrellis, and Warren Hawk, Pride Coffee, Minocqua Brewing Company. And we're going to jump into it. We have some phone calls. Yes, we do. Hey, Jim, how's it going?
Hi, Ken, and your guest. I'm absolutely, I don't know how I feel about Rand Paul, the libertarian from Kentucky, picking on Anthony Fauci. And they've been doing this since the pandemic.
Yes.
The Sinclair Broadcasting Network, they're on at 7:30 in the morning. They're, just show pictures of Trump, but they're anti-Fauci. The Republican radio is anti-Fauci.
Yes.
Now, here's a gentleman who devoted his life to curing disease. I mean, there's so many examples of his brilliance in medicine. And what is their motive for this? I don't understand it. Do they think they can glean votes because they can challenge reality?
Yes.
I mean,
unfortunately, I do.
Yeah, I mean, Ken, how do you challenge reality? I don't understand how you can possibly do that. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think, hey, Jim, I think that, they just want to keep pushing this insane narrative that, not to believe doctors, not to believe lawyers, not to believe, people like you have said who've spent their entire lives, studying and doing this work and researching and the facts.
The facts.
And then just listening to a con man reality star and to continue to make money. I think this is all based on money and them trying to make more money off their base.
I agree.
But what, I mean, are people that, I mean, where are their minds at? How can they be persuaded from reality? In other words, how do you persuade yourself from that? I mean, because it's going to stare you in the face sooner or later. And the point is, maybe somebody can deter you from it, but I don't know how you could do it on a permanent basis. I don't know where they're going with this. The Republican Party seems to embrace it.
Yeah.
And why? Why? I mean, the America that I knew, like my mother used to say, reality stinks to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's certain times that you got to face reality.
Yes.
But this particular party doesn't care. And then real fast,
sure.
Think of the guy that broke the Nixon case is interviewing Trump in February of that year of the pandemic. And he articulates to Woodward, he articulates to him that this is a dangerous disease coming. Now, he's president of the United States, right? He doesn't open his yaps for a month, for one solid month. Now, what kind of a president is that?
A bad one.
A bad one, a lethal president, obviously. But why would you keep it? You're supposed to be president of the United States. You don't think you'd go on TV and say, we've got a desperate disease coming along, and at least warn you into sheltering in place, whatever the hell you could do. The point is, he didn't open his mouth for a month because in his mind, and this is just conjecture on my part, in his mind he thought, well, this is going to affect my election and this is going to affect me going to jail because we all know he belongs in jail. But the point is, even if I was going to jail, I wouldn't sacrifice people's lives because I was going to jail.
Well,
you follow me?
Yeah, that's because you have morals and integrity, Jim.
I think that just like shows what the type of person the president is. He doesn't care about any of our lives.
No.
He cares about just saving himself.
Saving us behind. Saving us behind. Yeah. But I mean, but yet, but like I mentioned the Sinclair broadcasting network. They got it around for half an hour. It's a completely unreality show. They show pictures of Trump all day, and the Ellison brothers who own CBS are trying to buy every other station in the country to push unreality on the American public, and it's I don't know what I can't discuss. I'm speechless when it comes to that. But anyway, you guys have a great show, and I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you, guys.
Love talking to you, Jim. Thank you. And next we have Steve. Steve from Des Plaines. Steve, how's it going?
Very good, guys. Good talking to you. And first off, Mr. Ken, once again, I've said it before. I love your laugh. Your laugh makes me smile. It's contagious. You should bottle it.
You know, listen, if you're willing to buy it, I will bottle it because the bills are due, Steve.
Very good, very good. Well, real quick, I'm sorry, the lady's name again. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Demi.
Your name? Yeah, you're a guardsman. You're a guards person.
I am, yes.
Yes, I'm a vet, and
thank you for your service.
Quite frankly, when people. I would not recommend anybody join nowadays. I wouldn't, and I hate saying that. I I regret having that stance because I probably served, and my brother and my father World War II, and now if anybody was to approach me, and they do approach me a lot, I'm going to tell you, I was in at the end of Vietnam. And I'm telling you, when I'm working out at the Planet Fitness or around, especially, I just come back from the big air show up in Oshkosh, and young people constantly come up to me saying, thank you for your service. Constantly. And it's a different world than it was when I got out 30 years ago. Yeah. And because these are all kids born after 9/11. And the problem is all they've been exposed to are these idiots in Washington for the most part. Now that they're coming into their age, they're all 15, 17, 18 years old. And and I've heard say that the recruiting numbers are up. I find it hard to believe, quite frankly, but that's what I hear. The recruitment numbers are up.
Definitely not true. I know that they keep putting out those newsletters and everything like that. That's what's happening. But at the end of the day, the recruiters that I know and across the state or the country, they're like, no, they're like hemorrhaging people to try and join. I'm like giving them everything.
That makes more sense to me as a person that lives in the real world.
Right. Real quick, what's your district? What's your district comprise? What area? I'm not familiar with the state map, quite frankly.
No worries. 13th district. So it starts in Wrigley Field, like right on the corner, and then it goes up north to Andersonville and Edgewater.
And how far west does it go? How far west do you go?
It has like a weird little arm that pokes out. It's a funky looking west side of the district. So kind of along the river, honestly.
Oh, really? I'm kind of hoping you will pop out to Des Plaines here, but you probably don't go that far.
I don't go that far, no.
We'll have to get her out to Des Plaines, though.
One last question.
Sure.
Where the hell has anybody heard of the Democratic National Committee guy, Ken Martin? Does he exist? Does he ever do anything or say anything of note? Does he do anything that's worthy of note? I don't know.
You're asking the wrong person, Steve. I can't afford to get into those rooms. But he is saying things of note to the people that can afford to get into those rooms, I am sure.
Yeah, because
nope, that was a dig, and I'm sorry.
I've heard nothing but where is this guy? I mean, what is he doing? Do they have a plan? Because here we are in August almost, and it's going to be a game on here real soon. It's real soon, right?
Yeah.
It's November. And do we have a platform? Do we have a thesis? I mean, national. I don't know.
And you know what, Steve? It's funny you say that because I was just talking to a friend of mine last night, and I was saying if the Democratic message is anybody but Trump, we're going to wind up in a worse situation. Like, yeah, we might win the midterms. Great. But we have to think past Trump. We have to think about the people. And I think Marie Newman, shout out to Marie Newman, if you get a chance, she wrote a great piece about how we really should be getting rid of, the DNC, the DSSS, and all that stuff, because they're not doing the job that they're supposed to do, which is, I personally feel that the DNC's job is to... They're using their platform to just push the most moderate candidates down our throat versus using their platform to actually get out in these communities, talk to people, register voters, and more importantly, find out why so many folks are opting to stay home. The DNC, from what I can see, because once again, I can't afford to get into those rooms, they're patting themselves on the back for doing the bare minimum. But that's just my opinion. What do I know?
I totally agree. I think that like the vote blue no matter who is so dead.
Yeah.
Like I'm very progressive, and that's what we want to see. The only way to get out of fascism is going more left.
Yes,
and,
I agree.
And they haven't listened to the working class people in how long, you know? And like we're sick of it. And I'm excited for this wave.
I am too.
Well, I have to label myself an FDR Democrat, and they should come right out and go New Deal 2.0. We'll say it out loud, say it proud. And seriously, it's just because, we need a leader, or at least a banner of leadership that this is the direction we're going, and not just anti-Trump. Because Trump's going to be gone soon. He's either going to croak.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we need to have something. A game plan, I guess.
We have to have a platform that is beyond Trump, that is beyond. I think we have to have a platform that's beyond any elected official. We have to have a platform that benefits the American people. And that's what folks are looking for. And I think that's why we're seeing this huge wave of progressives winning. It's not because their message is so radical. It's that because their message is resonating with folks that, once again, cannot afford to get into these rooms to listen to, the hockey puck that the DNC Ken Martin, that's the same Ken Martin, is pushing down our throats.
I don't even know what he looks like. But anyway, have a good day, guys.
Google it, Steve. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Ken. Take care, buddy.
And if you're up tomorrow morning, tomorrow on Chew's Views, Richard Chew will be joined by guest co-hosts Enrico Moat and Rick Kasperas, and their guests are Anusha Thakura, Executive Director of Citizen Action Illinois, Shaughnessy Naughton, President of 314 Action, and Kilda Royce, Wisconsin State Senator and Democratic candidate for Wisconsin Governor. Choose Views weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And we will now go to break, and we will be right back.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or
and Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Hello, hello, hello. You are back with Ken Mejia-Beal, the Hump Day Honey, and my wonderful guest, Demi Palecek, who you can find at demi4illinois.com. She's going to be one of our most kick-ass state representatives, and I am so excited to have you here with me today. Can we talk a little bit about what we talked about during the break? Because usually what we talk about during the break, we cannot talk about for legal reasons, and people get upset, blah, blah, blah. But we were touching base on what Democrats are going to have to do to really not win the midterms, to really change and impact. We have to start recruiting more voters, and we have to start pushing the message. And our last caller, Steve, pointed out a very good point. He could not pick out the DNC leader in a like he could see his picture, he would know who that man is. What do you think we need to be doing differently?
I mean, how much
in 2
time
minutes
is
or
left?
less.
I mean, I think it's crazy. The two top questions I get from establishment people are, how do you be authentic and genuine? And I I can't teach that, first off.
That is hilarious.
And then
that's hilarious.
And then have you talked to a normal voter or a normal person? You know what I mean? Like, have you seen one? You know what I mean? Like,
have you talked to someone who is not a lobbyist?
Yeah. Have you been to Aldi lately and like seeing?
Yes.
Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, I just feel, and my background is marketing and communications. And so for a while I've been like, we need to get ahead of this game of what we're putting out there. And we just, for some reason, never do. And then MAGA is really great at getting their voice out there.
Absolutely.
And it's
because they won't stop.
No.
Even when they're wrong, they're loud and wrong.
Loud, yes.
Yes.
Well, they're the silent majority, but they're the loudest.
They're very loud.
I've ever seen.
Like very angry and very loud. And I've always say there's something special about people that are winning and still angry and loud. Like, dude, you won. Why are you so mad?
Why are you so hateful?
Like, what is wrong?
Please just get a therapist at the end of the day.
They probably don't believe in junk science. But it's funny that you mentioned it because I get all these, I talk to a lot of people, and some of which I love. Like I was talking to a really good candidate today. Shout out to Ben McAdams, who's running for state senate, and he's just a genuinely cool guy and progressive and really cares about community. And then I talk to other people who are more establishment, and it's like, but we're raising money. And we're winning. And it's like, okay, well...
What are we winning at?
What are we winning? And congratulations that you have money in your war chest. Have you talked to the people in your district that can't afford groceries? Have you talked to the people in your district that can't afford to come to your town halls, that can't afford to come to your fancy parties?
Right.
Have you talked to those people? Because those people would be grossly offended that your status of winning is how much money you have managed to raise. It's offensive.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I just won my primary. I had the lowest amount of money.
Good for you.
I was outspent by 1 to 20, but my work ethic, I had lost like 20 pounds door knocking. So Patty even said something about it. She's like, you need a sandwich. But
Patty has told me to eat a sandwich before too.
But my message, and I'm just me. As you can tell the audience, I say I don't sound like a little lab rat from the establishment.
Yes.
I have a sleeve of tattoos. I, have fought in the military.
Yes.
I have fought with ICE and been punched in the face.
I know.
That is just who I am, and I'm working class. The reason I even got in the military is because that was my pathway out of poverty.
Got it.
And so how many people resonate with that is literally everyone.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so for people to come in, and even when I walk in the halls of Congress and things like that, and I see, a couple politicians have $1,800 shoes on, all I can think of is that would buy, 700 sandwiches.
They don't get it.
They don't.
They don't get it. And more importantly, I've run into so many of these elected officials who have these big districts, these big diverse districts, and they seem to only talk to the folks in their little portion of the district, their little white picket fence part of the district. And it's like, well, I talk to my constituents. Do you talk to your neighbors? I know your neighbors are your constituents, but there's an other side to your district. Have you gone to the other side? Have you talked to those folks? Because I can promise you, you haven't.
Right.
Especially with our congressional districts. They are so vast, crazy vast. And you can tell the folks that are actually talking to all of the district and the folks that are like, well, this is the portion of the district I live in with our $1 million homes. And these are the people I'm going to talk to. And when then they pare it back, well, when I go out and talk to the folks in my district, this is what I'm here. Yeah, because everyone in your district is in a $1 million home.
Right.
So, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of hard-working folks that have built their lives up, and it's great. But the reality is there's a disconnect. And I will even own, I didn't grow up in the best of places, and I've managed to, do pretty nice for myself. And there are moments where I go, ooh, got it. And I realize I'm a little disconnected and I have to go back. I think when you climb a ladder, if you're intentional about it, you always remember to go back a little bit. But if you're not intentional, it's really easy to forget, oh yeah, I'm not in the same place I used to be. Because I'll tell you, Ken Mejia-Beal 20 years ago would not be getting on a plane and going to Amsterdam. He couldn't afford it. He was eating ramen noodle.
Right.
So I have to remember that. It's a privilege. I don't think these folks with the $1,800 shoes remember that.
No, not at all. I mean, and I think of how close we are. Yes, I mean, I came from poverty as well, and I feel good. I don't have to think twice or budget if I want to order DoorDash, and I'm very grateful for that and the work I've put in. But at the end of the day, I'm also one broken bone away from being unhoused.
Same.
So it's not like we've
I haven't made it.
Yeah.
I'm not like the Jeffersons. I haven't moved on up yet. I am a couple of paychecks away from being like, oh my God, what is going to happen in my life?
Absolutely.
But I think when you're conscious of that, it keeps you grounded. Because as soon as you forget it, I think something happens to you, and I think you change. And I think that's what happens to a lot of these politicians. I've been very lucky enough to meet so many in the beginning, and then I see them now. And it's like, oh my God, this is not the person I met 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I don't know how many Nancy Pelosi dinner parties you went to, but something happened to you. You've lost something, and I don't know what it is, but you lose something, and I think that's when you should get out.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And again, I'm going to bring every issue back down to money. But
yes, you should.
Like,
it's important.
Yeah, I thrift a lot of my clothes and things like that, like, because again, I'm of the people. I'm not, it's just so crazy to see when I see certain people and they have spent, $7,000 on a suit. I didn't even know that was possible. And I went to school for fashion originally. I didn't know that was possible.
Crazy.
And then it's like,
for me, that's crazy. And I have a lot of suits.
And then next door, is the unhoused shelter. And I'm like, how can you even go visit that right now in that outfit? Like, it hurts my stomach.
I had to give a person a lecture. They were going to do some, they were doing a photo op. I'm going to call it what it is. They were doing a photo op at a battered women's shelter. And they were wearing a Rolex. And I said, okay, see the look on everyone's face in this studio. I said, this isn't a good look. And you shouldn't be ashamed.
Right.
But you don't, like, these women have lost everything. And not only have they lost everything material-wise, they've lost a little bit of dignity too. And you're going to roll in here with a camera crew and a Rolex to relate to them? No, because that matters. Because I will tell you, when I see someone in a $6,000 suit, I immediately understand that we probably won't have very much in common. And that's not what you want as an elected official.
Right. Or just coming through when, like, it's a big issue, or when I start a fight and you have a press conference. Like, that is not a you know what I mean? Like, everyone sees through that. And then that's when people and your neighbors start hating you.
Boom. And I think, and I do believe, and please don't at me for this, because I'm going to land the plane. There is something authentic about MAGA, and I don't think that's a good thing. But there is something very, like, they are who they are. They are loud and ignorant and wrong, but that is who they are. And there's something about us as liberals that holds back who we really are. I call it respectability politics. And it's something about us that's like, we have to put on the nice suit. We have to put on the nice heels. We have to have the nice jewelry. We have to have the polished words. We have to have everything right, versus just say what's in your heart. Connect with people. And don't connect with them to get a dollar. Connect with them because they're humans, and so are you. I think that's what's missing, because, Rand Paul is insane, but I think that's who he is. Like, I think what you see is what you get. I think with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she's crazy. I think what you see is what you get, though. And I think so many of us hold back because somewhere along the way we were told we have to be respectability. And you probably know that better than
my team. Shout out Alec right now.
How is Alec?
He's great.
We'll talk off there. Yeah.
But he is very protective of me, and I still have to hold back who I am. Like, I'd love to go be unhinged at all times.
You should be.
And I know that I can't. You know what I mean? I know that I have to hold the trust of my community while fighting for them at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that is a very difficult line to teeter sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when MAG is in my comments, or someone is outside my house throwing rocks or anything, like, you know what I mean?
I had a day off and I was in your comment section.
Oh, you were.
And I was just so far. This is crazy MAGA person. I was like, okay, first off, and then I text you. I was like, I have the day off. I'm sorry. I have time today, but that's what I mean.
And I'm from Southern Illinois, and so I was raised pretty right. And so I can change my mindset and learn and culture myself and unlearn so many things. Then I believe that others can too, and that's why I continue on Facebook.
Yes. Good.
We've brought a couple over, honestly, but it's exhausting.
I don't have the patience for it, which is why I couldn't do the job that you do. But I also grew up with a lot of preconceived notions about people and a lot of preconceived notions about things. I grew up in a house where therapy was not You didn't go to therapy. You went to church. You didn't take medication for mental disorders because there was nothing wrong with you.
You were just sad.
You were just sad. Like, talk to Jesus. I had to outgrow that and unlearn some bad generational things. It doesn't mean my family was bad. It just means they weren't right. And I think part of becoming an adult is realizing, yeah, my parents they're human. They weren't right about everything, and that's okay. And I'm not going to be right about everything, but I can be better. And there's something about so many folks in this world, especially MAGA, that refuse, like, they hold on to everything like it will break them to change. They won't, and I don't understand it, but something I've said on this show many times is because I have ideas and not beliefs. And I think an idea is easier to change than once you have a belief. To change a belief is like, if you haven't seen Dogma, it's a great movie. Check it out. There's a whole scene about that. But it's hard for folks to change their beliefs. It's really easy to say, oh, this is an idea. And then someone says, oh, well, this doesn't work because blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, okay, got it. Versus, well, I know you believe in this, but your belief is wrong. You will go to war for that because it's what you believe in.
The mental gymnastics I do with that in my head. And then, I was raised really, really religious. And like the Bible tells me to take care of each other and borders don't matter.
Yes.
And whatever. And then so when MAGA is so hateful and like laughing at a family torn apart, like I just cannot. It doesn't compute with me.
No, because we read the same. I was raised Southern Baptist.
Or the Constitution,
We won't, because I know we read two separate constitutions. I've seen the Supreme Court rulings, and it's like, what constitution are you looking at? But I also believe maybe we need a constitutional rewrite because it was written like a long, long time ago. And I'm a big believer that words should not be living, breathing documents. Because when they said, the right to bear arms, in their mind, they're thinking you have the gun and you have the gunpowder and you stick the powder in there and you put a bullet in and then you shoot and then you do it again. They did not have in their brains that at some point you'd be able to shoot off hundreds of bullets in seconds.
In a preschool.
Because I don't think, so I do think some things have to be revisited, but I also believe that a lot of folks, especially on the right, like to pick and choose. Like they will take one part of the Bible and say, this is what the Lord said. And then you can say, yeah, but like there are no borders because you're a socialist because blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm just telling you what your Bible says. But,
and I am. I don't like.
Yeah, I'm just repeating your Bible. I'm getting the signal to go on a break. So we are going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and talk to some of our listeners.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
From city streets to political beats, you're driving it home with Patti Vasquez, where progressive talk fuels the ride.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Ken Mejia-Beal, the Hump Day Honey, and I'm here with I think we should be besties. Demi Palecek. Her website is demiforillinois.com. Tomorrow on Live, Local and Progressive, Joan Esposito will talk to Amanda Marco, senior writer at Salon.com. Her latest piece is The Magification of Hollywood is going to be so boring. Oh, I love that. Professor Stephen D. Schwinn of the University of Illinois Chicago School of Law, Illinois Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, and Heartland Signal's Rich Irwin with 3 stories you might have missed from our digital newsroom. Live, Local, and Progressive weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., heartlandsignal.com, and tune in. Now, let's take it to the phones. Our first caller, Nicole. Nicole, how are you doing today?
No, is
Am I reading something? I'm Keithon. Sorry, Keithon. My bad.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
How are you doing?
I know there's a whole lot of people. I know there's a whole lot of people waiting to talk to you. You got a very important person's position right now.
Sometimes, Keithon, I just am bad at reading, my friend. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm all right. You're not as bad as Trump and the teleprompter.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But anyway, let me get on there because I know the other person is probably still waiting. But I think everybody. MAGA is like I'm forgetting the Daisy Dukes, the Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard, yeah.
They're the old. They're the old. My parents fought in the Civil War, Hatfield and McCoys, and their generation grew up all American, not foreign influence or Southern influence or even Northern influence. They fought Canada. They fought Mexico. They fought Europe. We pretty much was isolated within ourselves. We just was so powerful. But when you have a boss hog in office, expect Cletus and the Dukes to continue to doing what they're doing. And right now, the Democrats are the Duke boys, and Jesse is in a coma, and nobody can do anything about anything anymore because Boss Hogg had got Goo, whatever his name was, riding all over the place, Hank stuff, riding all over the place, locking everybody up and sending them to jail. You know, so anybody that's American born and American made, because you have to be made to be American. You have to go through American stuff, racism, poverty, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, and making groups and campaigning from gangs to political parties. You know, it all comes in the American mixing pot, and those people right now are MAGA. They're independents. They're Democrats. They're Republicans. They're not from Europe. They're not from South Africa making decisions for Americans. They're not from England making decisions from America. Right. They're not from Saudi Arabia making decisions in America. You don't know anything. If your grandparents came here from overseas running from war or refugee or whatever you came here to America for, your grandparents was learning how to be American. And once you grew up, you were American. And only thing you know is America. So you're going to do American things. Now, when you get foreign influences and stuff, they don't know the history of America. They don't know about the Civil War. The Civil War Holocaust before the German Holocaust. Nobody knows stuff like that except these MAGA original Americans. They know their history, and they will hold their history until their dying breath, like a rare Timex watch. And it's nothing you can do about it. And so they're dying out now. As you can see, with Mitch McConnell, they don't even want to tell you Mitch McConnell is gone.
Where is he?
I think we know where he is. I'm sorry.
I've never seen a ghost. I've never seen, I always had this thing. If you saw, there's money has dead presidents on them. If you see George Washington in the toilet, in the dirty toilet, you might extend a hand to George Washington, even though you never met George Washington in your life, Hamilton and all of them. Now, if it was a $100 bill, yeah, you'll go through the sewers for it. And Trump has dipped his hand into something that he don't understand works without him, and he just got to have his way. It's nothing you can do with those. Boss Hogg. There's nothing you can do with Boss Hogg. He is going to. That's my only point. He is Boss Hogg, and American MAGA knows it, and they love those times. You can't take the General Lee off the map.
I feel like I need to watch Dukes of Hazzard now, Keithon. Thank you for. I need to watch Dukes of Hazzard. Thank you so much for calling.
You get an understanding of pretty much white America.
I need to watch Dukes of Hazzard. Thank you so much for calling. Keep listening. Next, we have Mary Pat. Yes, we have Mary Pat. Mary Pat, how are you?
I'm good. You're doing a great job filling in for Patty, by the way.
Thank you.
I got a little disagreement with your last caller. MAGA is not all that. I know there are African-American people and Mexican-American heritage people that are MAGA.
Yep. 100%. Mind blowing.
And what it really comes down to is that movement has allowed and made okay that and they glorify cruelty towards other human beings. They've made that okay, and that it's the standard, and it's all right to treat people badly and horrifically. to raid their homes, to pull their children out of their beds, to disappear people in the middle of the street and leave their car running with their children still in it. And that is the horrific thing about this movement and what's going on now. And that's what this is all about. It's about the glorification of being cruel to one another. And that's what we got to fight against.
I 100% agree with you.
And I was actually calling in to talk about the Democratic National Committee.
Sure.
And how the corporatists there, it's all about money for them as well.
Absolutely.
How much money is in my campaign coffer, right? And there was just this article on the New York Times the other day about Ken Martin, the head of the DNC. And, you know, they talked about the good thing that he did by sending money to state parties to help places like Louisiana get out the vote and flip a red seat to blue, which is great. But then you hear about his behavior and his attitude, and he did that very thing. He was cruel to someone who worked for him. He threw a phone at him.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So the tone is set at the top, and wonderful candidates like yourself, you're getting out there, and I think you need to knock on some more doors. And can I suggest that you actually start showing up in front of the Aldi and visiting laundromats on a Saturday morning?
Oh, the laundromats, yes.
To make sure that people who are part of the American way, that are just poor, that they're stopped, that they're no longer the other, and that they're empowered and realize they can register and they can vote, and their vote will make a difference.
Mary Pat, thank you for that message. On that note, we are going to take a break because I can't even end it on a better note. So we will be right back.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez.
From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing ass says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Welcome back. We are at the top of the hour. This is Ken Mejia-Beal, your Hump Day Honey, and I am joined by the beautiful, talented, kick-ass Demi Palecek. And you can find out more about her at demiforillinois.com. We want to welcome, you're listening to WCPT 820 and stream on heartlandsignal.com. Welcome to KKNW 1150 in Seattle and KTNF 950 AM in Minnesota, our great friends in Minnesota. And we have a guest I'm excited about. Really good friend of mine. He's a Milwaukee alderman and former candidate for Wisconsin Congressional District 1. Peter, I don't want to slaughter your last name. How do you pronounce it? I should know this.
Burgelis. But listen, people call me all sorts of names and I respond to most of them. So okay. whatever you have is fine.
Well, I was going to say Burgelis, but I was like, that sounds oddly wrong and not right. And I don't want to get that. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing great. Listen, I ducked out of a budget town hall that the mayor of Milwaukee is throwing in my district at the library right now. So I'm glad I could run away for a couple minutes and share a little bit with you guys. Well, so thanks for having me today.
No, thank you for joining us. And really quickly, how did you get started in politics?
Listen, I was, some friends of mine had helped then Alderman, now Mayor Cavalier Johnson, lobby the Common Council in the city of Milwaukee to pass the ordinance that banned gay conversion therapy. And I worked at the bank across the street from City Hall. Some friends had mentioned that they were voting on this. I just moved to another part of town, hadn't met my elder person yet. So I joined them to watch the vote and cheer them on and help celebrate that win, because it was pretty clear that we had enough votes to get that passed. This was back in 2018.
Okay.
And as I watched the vote, I saw that the person that represented me in City Hall, he voted against the ban. And I asked him, you know, when I caught up with him and asked him, hey, what? You voted against it? He said, well, I didn't want government to regulate how parents raise their children.
Oh,
I said, well, do you really know what conversion therapy is? Like, this is child abuse. And I think it's government's role and responsibility to protect kids who can't protect themselves. And I knew right then and there, that was the very first time I was ever in the council chamber, I was going to have that seat one day. I ran against him a couple months later in a long battle against a 28-year incumbent. Came up short in April of 2020, but then ran for county board 2 years later. And then I ran 2 years later for that same seat. And I am now the alderman for the 11th aldermanic district in the southwest side of Milwaukee.
I love that story.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
And something you and I are both a part of the Victory Fund.
Right.
And you're the first, I want to get this right. You are the first out alderman in Milwaukee. Is that correct?
I'm the first out alderman. But there's my colleague Joe Castro-Zamerico is the first alder person.
Got it.
But I was the first out anything on the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors in 2022. I had to check to make sure, because 2022, you would think a community like Milwaukee would have someone already in that place, and probably odds are someone was part of the community, wasn't out before. So the first out person in 2022. We also had an alder who's now serving the state legislature who tapped his foot quite a bit at the student union years back and got caught. He is not out, but he did serve before me. But listen, when people represent you in City Hall, that's what motivated me to run. The person that represented me didn't represent my values. And when elections don't go your way, you can post something, we'll call it fun, on social media. You can encourage your friends to vote a different way next time, or you put your boots on and you run and you do it. And it's hard. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And Victory Fund and the Victory Institute taught me how to run for office, but not only how to run for office, but how to run and win. I didn't win my first election, but I won my second and my third. And then I decided to run for Congress.
Yeah. So can we talk about that a little bit? So
sure, of course.
I imagine you're sitting at home and you said, I don't have enough to do. I'm going to run for Congress. And you run for Congress.
Right.
Yeah, I figured that. No, so talk me through that process.
So the first congressional district in the state of Wisconsin is the southeast corner of the state, just south of the city of Milwaukee. And what I saw there, that there were great people running, great Democrats, great professionals, I'm sure, but nobody was running to challenge Brian Stile, who authored the SAVE Act, who's been following the Trump agenda since day one. No one was running who had a chance to beat Brian Stile and flip that seat. It's an R+2 district now, which is pretty close, right? And that same R+2 district in April voted 15 points, had a 15-point spread for the liberal state Supreme Court Justice, Chris Taylor. In that same R+2 district, where that Trump won by 4.5 points, the state Supreme Court in April of 2026 went plus 15 points for the liberal candidate.
Wow.
This is, on paper, the most winnable district in the entire state of Wisconsin, the most flippable district in the state of Wisconsin. And we see out in Wisconsin 3 with Derek Van Orden, there are great Democrats running. We will flip that seat. They have been working very hard to do that. We will be successful there. But on paper, this seat is more flippable with the right candidate. So a few people had asked me to run. I turned them down. They came back later, asked me to run again. And I said, listen, I'm an alder. I love my place in our community. And I would happily retire 20 years from now as a long-serving elder from the southwest side of the city of Milwaukee. But if there's an opportunity to do more and do better, then I have to step up for that challenge. And I stepped up, I ran. And after the first fundraising deadline, I realized that this was not a winnable race for me in the primary. And I bowed out and let other people take the charge to November, which is a very difficult decision to do.
Yeah.
But this is not my last opportunity. I enjoy listening to my constituents. Sorry.
Yep.
That's exactly what voters in my district and throughout southeastern Wisconsin are looking for. They're concerned about their next grocery bill,
right?
Their next utility bill. Things have gotten so unaffordable. It's a direct result of the Trump administration and Brian Stiles policies that have put us in this place. And I wanted to do something about it. I can't run for that. I'm not going to be successful in that race this time.
Right.
But I'm not done.
Oh, I know you're not done. So let's take a look at, if you could put on your binoculars and look, let's not say 20 years, because that's a long time. 5 years. What is your 5-year plan?
My 5-year plan is to continue doing what my constituents ask me to do.
I like that answer. I like that answer. Yeah.
And listen, I have my own priorities, but I'm in office. My job is to listen to my constituents and make sure that their values are represented in my work in City Hall. The Southwest Side is probably the most purple part of the city of Milwaukee, which is a challenge sometimes because we have differing political and partisan viewpoints with my constituents. But with local elected office, we do not have Democratic potholes or Republican snowplows in the city of Milwaukee. Whoever earns that the public's trust should do what's best for the community, regardless of party. I used to say, let those smart people in Madison or DC worry about politics. And I turn around and point to their street, and I can usually find one on their block.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. In Wisconsin, municipal elections are all nonpartisan because partisanship has no place and has no impact or shouldn't have any impact on your garbage getting picked up on time or your potholes getting fixed.
100% agree. So what do you like best about being an older person? Because you seem very excited about it, and I know we've talked about it, and your face lights up. What is your favorite part?
It's always been, over my career, I've had a lot of different jobs. I ran a nonprofit for a couple of years. I opened a restaurant with some buddies. For 20 years, I was a mortgage lender helping families hand over the keys at the closing table and become homeowners, right? Mm-hmm. And I always loved that challenge. And being a lender, you help one family at a time. I knew I could help more than one family at a time from City Hall, and that's really why I decided to run. But solving problems, getting stuff done, that's why I enjoy my career. In my office, I have a legislative aide who handles most of the day-to-day constituent concerns when I'm in committee or in a meeting or something else. But whenever I can, and I hear that phone ring, I'm going to reach over and answer it. And I've gotten a reputation with my constituents of actually answering my own phone. I'm not going to pass the buck or to say that this is someone else's problem. If I represent you in city government and you have a problem with city government, it's my problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. That's why I'm here.
Well, we have to keep you there. We have to.
Listen, sometimes that problem is my garbage didn't get picked up yesterday. Yeah. Okay, we can figure that out. Sometimes that problem is the fire chief asked for $30 million worth of fire equipment, and the mayor put $2 million in the budget.
Oh,
30. Got 2. Well, it's time for me to get to work. I have firefighters in my district. I have fire stations in my district. That was probably the easiest budget amendment to write and the biggest in recent memory that the city of Milwaukee has ever had. It was an $8 million, we have a $2 billion budget, right? And this was a $10 million budget amendment to bring up that, to add an additional $8 million worth of spending to invest in fire trucks. We have 42 frontline heavy pieces of equipment. They cost about $2 million a piece. They last 15 years. We should be replacing no less than 3 of them a year. We were going to have 25-year-old fire trucks, with the ladders, with the 100-foot crane, with a light at the end of it, in frontline service in the city of Milwaukee. No.
Wow.
If they last 15 years, having a 25-year-old fire truck is beyond the scope of what's okay with me. It's beyond the scope of what's okay with my constituents. We put those priorities into action and pass that budget amendment. The mayor, he still vetoed it, but that's okay. I was able to happily override that veto with my colleagues with a unanimous vote in about 37 seconds.
Awesome.
That's how you get shit done.
Peter, where can we find out more information about you, what you're doing, website information? Where can we go?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, I guess, Peter for FORWI, Peter for Wisconsin. Same tag on Facebook, or the city website has my official aldermanic page. Just search Alderman Peter Milwaukee and you'll find it.
Well, it's not too long of a drive, so I am going to have to come up there and visit you. I know I say that every year, but I need to do it before the winter when I no longer drive. But thank you so much for doing all the work you do. I look forward.
Saturday we have a canvas for an LGBT candidate for state assembly. Love to have you join us.
I know I'm going to be in Amsterdam.
Well,
but I'll be up there. Listen, Peter, I'll be up there.
Listen, share it. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, do it.
We're going to meet at Lacage. We're going to meet some doors and then have a cocktail afterwards. But Ismail Luna is running for the 8th district in the south side of Milwaukee.
Awesome.
He's a great candidate, but he has a very intense primary. He needs everyone's help.
Send me the information. It'll be right on the feed first thing in the morning.
he is also a victory candidate.
Yes, he is. I voted yes. All right, Peter, thank you so much. Have a great evening. And we are going to take a break.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or
and Pete.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Welcome back. This is Ken Mejia-Beal, the Hump Day Honey, and I am joined in the studio today by Demi Palecek, and you can find out more about her at demi4illinois.com. I have a little thing I have to share with you guys. You can hear my paper wrestling tomorrow on Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez. Patti will be back, number one, and joined by guest co-host Dr. Kathy Tynes, internist at Alivio Health Services. Why are all the words so hard today? Their guests are Dr. Shika Jain, board-certified hematology and oncology physician and associate professor of medicine at the University of Illinois Cancer Center in Chicago, and Bill from Olive's Neighborhood Garden, an award-winning nonprofit garden in the Jefferson Park neighborhood of Chicago, providing fresh produce delivered weekly to local food banks. I did that. I also want to thank our sponsors again, Source Solar, Peter Sorrellis and Warren Hawk, Pride Coffee Roasters, delicious coffee, Minocqua Brewing Company, who, if you have not subscribed to the Substack, please do so. Some really great writing, and buy their drinks. And Timmy, thank you so much for today. Has been incredible. And I was telling Lady B when I told Patti, I was like, I need to get Demi here. She is the person I want to co-host with because it's no filter. I like folks that don't have a filter. It makes some people nervous, but I don't have a filter. So thank you for coming unfiltered. Before we, because we have a pre-recording that we will be getting to, a very good one. Why do you do what you do?
I mean, I think because I have a heart. I just care about people. And I don't think that life should be so hard. I don't think that we should be, in quote, the best country. End quote, because I didn't say that. And we're struggling and we have 5 jobs. We're being hunted down by ICE. I just have empathy, and I think that people deserve to live their lives. You only get one, and that's it. And why do you have to struggle your whole life? I don't want that for anyone, or seniors living out the rest of their life to just be sitting there. That's how my dad is right now, and I hate it, So things like that, I just want people to have joy and be happy and the things that they need.
There's 2 kinds of people in the world, and I've learned this. There are people that said, I went through this and survived, so you should go through it too and survive. Those are the people I don't think have empathy. Those are the people that they don't have a heart. And then there's people like you and I who say, I went through this. No one else should have to go through this. This is what I can do to make it better. And I always found that disconnect so disarming is the best word, because it's like, if you went through this, why would you want someone else to suffer? What is wrong with you?
Again, talk to your therapist about that.
Yes, but they don't believe in therapy. But it's weird to me because I've gone hungry. I don't want other people to go hungry. I've had trouble paying my medical bills, which in this country, as much as I pay in insurance and we pay in insurance, that's why I'm for Medicare for All, but that's a whole other show for a different day. I don't want other people to go through things that I went through. So it's so bizarre. So bizarre.
Right. I mean, like when I say like I am working class, I really mean it. Like I said before the break, and so the listeners know.
Yeah.
I'm in a weird purgatory right now because I'm not technically the rep, but
not purgatory.
but I'm in the bluest area, and I won with the plurality. So I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I went back to bartending.
And I have to come visit you.
Yeah, at My Buddy. So shout out to My Buddy Chicago. But, and like people will sit at the bar and they're like, and my glasses are very recognizable. And they're like, what is your name? And I'm like, Demi. And they're like my state rep Demi. And I'm like, yeah, hi. And they're like, I thought this was like this is real. And I'm like, this is real.
This is real.
This is real.
And tip me because I have bills to pay. Listen, if one night, because I haven't bartended in, oh my God, years. Mm-hmm. I'm not just saying this. You should have me be like your volunteer barkeep, and we can bartend all night, and I think it'd be fun.
We should do it. I love events.
I would love to. I was a bartender a long time ago, many lifetimes ago, but I still know stuff. Mm-hmm. And I can pour a beer.
Pour a beer.
I can pour a beer. No, I can do martinis. I can do old fashions.
Shot of Malort. That's all anyone cares about, really.
Oh, really? Oh, gross. Okay, I can do it. I can do it though, girl. And where? So My Buddy.
Yeah, My Buddy Chicago. So if
they have
anyone
a great
needs a fundraiser,
show too.
Oh yeah, if anyone needs a fundraiser, they're great. But yeah, the shows are amazing. They do drag bingo, they do comedy, they do burlesque, like anything. It's actually really cool. And he does everything for the neighbors and the community. That. Yeah. So on Fridays, we're going to start. We haven't worked out the marketing yet, so my bad. But on Fridays, it'll be my day, and you can come in and bring like 3 cans of food, and we'll buy your beer or something like that. We're trying to figure it out, but it'll start hopefully this Friday.
Send that to Patty, our Lady B, and we will get that done. I believe that we have to go to our pre-recording now for Jason. Oh, okay, we're not going to Jason yet. Lady B is so sick of me. My time, as anyone who's ever dated me will tell you, my timing is always off and it's never right. But no, I would love to come in. Yeah. I love a drink. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of really good shows there.
And the food is really good too.
Yeah, really good cheese curds.
Yes.
I'm a cheese curd person.
Yes.
So we have to do that. Also, while you're in between, what can folks do to support you?
Yeah, I mean, so follow me on social media. Everything is under Demi for Illinois.
Okay.
Like I said, we will be having a ton of mutual aid calendar events coming out. So Sandwich for Solidarity, collecting clothes, getting people ready for job interviews, anything like that.
That's so important.
Yeah, and Halloween's getting ready to come. So we'll be taking old Halloween costumes from last time and then, repurposing them for the new,
I'll have to show up with a bag.
Yeah. And then we get candy for kids. And last year we did it for kids who were in hiding. So we kind of delivered those.
Oh, very good.
A lot of things for reproductive rights, honestly. And if anyone out there feels compelled or loves something and we're not doing it, bring it to us and we'll do it. We love events. We're going to do a solar event soon. And like I said, I'm a grassroots candidate. I don't take money from anyone. No LLC.
She does not have DraftKings tattooed on her backside, folks. I said it.
DraftKings came after me. If you didn't read. So
I read it.
Any couple of dollars really helps so I can pay my team appropriately and keep our website up.
We got to keep the website going. I also encourage you on my end to check out victoryfund.org, where we are pushing LGBTQ candidates all across the country. We are the largest LGBTQ org, and you are a Victory Fund endorsed candidate.
I am.
I was proud to vote yes for you. And I am our Midwest campaign chair, so that's part of what I do every day. We need so many good folks like Demi in every inch of our government. They are so hard to find, so we got to keep that going. And on that note, thank you, and don't leave, because we have Jason coming up next.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome back to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. And of course, thank you to all of our friends who are tuning in on all of our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company's Substack. Please consider subscribing and sharing with your family and friends so everyone can join the conversation. And of course, we encourage you to find our podcast at heartlandsignal.com, sign up for our newsletter, all the things. I got to get to our guest because I want to make sure we learn as much as possible because I was just telling him before we started that I started out as a political comedian and did not have the intestinal fortitude to duke it out with audiences that might disagree. Jason, I didn't even ask you before. Jason, is it Jason Salmon? I know, right?
It's spelled salmon.
Right?
It's spelled like the fish.
I should have asked.
So if you're saying salmon, I know you can find me online. So that's look, I'm never against that. But we actually pronounce it Salmon, like Better Call Saul.
Well, that's why you get along with Paul Farvar because all of his material is Better Call Paul. I am really excited to talk to you. I've seen you on social media and like what a weird thing now. That is sort of the entryway for a lot of people to get an audience now, and also fantastic because the gatekeepers are kind of gone, aren't they, Jason?
There's a lot of people still trying to gatekeep a little, but the gatekeepers do not have near the power that they did. So if you're good, if you know what you're doing, or sometimes if you're not, you can get through the gate.
Yeah,
there's a lot of holes in the gate. Let's just say.
Well, it used to be. It was so funny because now there's so many people making reels about like what pilot season used to be like in LA and all that stuff, and that's kind of the generation that I was of in comedy. And so as I mentioned, so my inspirations were Will Durst. I never thought Jimmy Tingle. I never thought I'd have the opportunity to work with like Lewis Black, and it's amazing. So first of all, your background, you did not start out in life to be a stand-up comedian, did you? What was the plan, my friend?
Well, to be fair, I had no plan. I just was living life. And then suddenly I graduated from high school and I'm like, oh, I got to make decisions now. So, I went to college to be an engineer.
Okay.
I went to study mechanical engineering at Texas A&M. Yeah. I was like, I'm good at math. I guess that makes sense. I'm good at math. I like steady jobs. I want to make money.
It may as well do it. And that's like, I remember like so many of my parents, is that something like in your family? People were excited. Oh yeah, engineering's a good career.
Oh, well, yeah, everybody, because everybody's like, oh, that's good, that's boring, that's responsible. Those were all synonyms where I grew up. So in conservative Christian Texas, that was like, just be stable, be conservative, don't be crazy, take a job where you do lots of math. That'll keep you sane.
These are all foreign things to me. The math part. Well, so that's the thing. So I'm gathering it wasn't a passion of yours then.
I found out that it was not. In fact, I was good at math. I was good at math. But once you started getting into bigger, higher versions of math, where math started getting really, really complex, I'm like, I'm not that guy. The guy from like Beautiful Mind, like that character? I am 100% not that dude.
Oh, too funny. And here's the thing: is that like, so how far along were you in this responsible, doing the right thing, Christian conservative path?
Well, I went through, and about halfway through, I was in classes where there were no women in my classes. There were professors who may have spoken English, but we only spoke in numbers. So I don't know what language they spoke. So like, I got to this point where I'm like, this is not the world I want to live in.
Wow.
So I tried to like shift to a hybrid business engineering model, and I ended up going that direction so I could be around people to start out with. Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, a classroom full of a bunch of guys with no women, nothing gets regulated. So that's a terrible place to be. Women have a really good knack for going, guys, be civilized. I can't tell you. Yeah. So it was nice to be in amongst like all my peers.
But with that mindfulness, like was that, again, folks, we're talking to Jason Solomon. He's a Texas-born comedian now based in New York, and he'll be at the Comedy Vault along with comedian Paul Farvar, who is a regular on our show.
Yeah, love Paul.
And he's fantastic. We've been friends for over a decade. And as he has mentioned, he got his engineering degree from Texas A&M. And the idea that you're in a room with mostly men, were you always mindful of like the differences that women made, or that just variety, diversity, like that kind of madness?
No, I was dumb. I think that's the thing is I don't know about all men, but I was an animal. I was a young male in college. I don't know a lot of us that weren't animals, and we had to be domesticated, and partly that's the college's job is like, you have to function in a company or in a job where people can fire you for being as stupid as you're being right now,
You mean it wasn't to be indoctrinated? What?
No. Turns out all of those things were literal, real things that we learned. But yeah, it having women around, they're like, if you want to have a conversation with me, you have to have a certain level of civility. And that's so the need to talk with women civilized me fairly quickly.
Well, it sounds like you were just, falling prey.
My wife might argue.
I was going to say, that she's domesticated you. I hear you.
She might argue against the fact that she doesn't believe I'm fully domesticated.
Has any man truly ever fully? No, I'm just kidding. I've been married for 26 years. We just celebrated our 26th anniversary, and it's a good balance. We are a good balance. And there are things. There are things you let go of, like when he would get into bed and take his socks and throw them across the room, and then not pick them up the next day anyway. And then you say, "Hey, if I divorce you, that was why," and then it never happens again. That's it. Just little hints.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've said for years that my wife loves me like I'm a dog. And that is what makes this work. She's like, you're good at loyalty and cuddling with me when I need just a dumb animal to accept me for everything. And I just have to keep you from peeing on the carpet, that's sort of the agreement we've made.
This is the boundaries we've decided to establish. Jason, were you, somebody in class? So my thing is that my report cards said things like lacks self-control, talks too much in class. I suspect you might have been a talker in class. Were you?
No, I was. I'm an observer. I was an observer. This is why I was so good at math. Yeah, I was not the class clown. I was a really good student. I was like the top straight A student. I was that kid. I goofed off more in my AP classes. Mm-hmm. So I was like the funniest guy amongst the nerds, but I was not.
We all got to find our crowd.
Yeah, you find your crowd. Yeah, that's what it was.
Were you a fan? Because I grew up as a big fan of the Johnny Carson show and the comics that would appear there. When did you start realizing, oh, wait a minute, were you a fan of stand-up comedy? What was the moment that you started I need to give this a shot?
I was definitely a fan of stand-up comedy. I did not think that was a plausible option for me, especially, that's part of the same mentality that got me into engineering is a mentality that was like, you can never do stand-up comedy as a job. That's insane. You know? So I always viewed that as a sort of abstract in the universe. But I realized there were jokes that I would hear that I would just wash over my memory, and I would just play them over and over because there was a musicality, and I realized that there was a musicality to words, and for a guy who went to school for all numbers, I am mostly a word guy now. So you don't always end up where you start.
Well, but it makes sense. I mean, but it also gives you a rounded view of things. It seems. Right.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't all stand-up comedians. I had an uncle who was one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And I remember one day he said, it is so flat in West Texas that on a clear day you can see the back of your own head. And that in my brain, I think that was the genesis of me being, oh, that's a real human, not a person on TV. That's a real human saying a thing that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That was so meticulously funny. That I will watch that over and over again. It'll just be a little jingle.
It is. It's absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's brilliant. And that's the thing is. So I'm not as selective. I just kind of I'm not very deliberate. Like Mitch Hedberg was very specific. I mean, you can't tell a Mitch Hedberg joke without the specificity. I can't say that word, but
I'll give you
the
credit.
Specific nature of every single word chosen. And it's important for like Michael Palecek writes like this. There are certain people. So it sounds like, when you started writing or your first open mic, because I remember my first one. What do you remember the most about your first open mic?
I remember that the first guy who went up there, because my first open mic was in New York City, and the first guy that went up there, I'm like, I feel like this guy had been in the park all day and had gotten $5 handed to him and put into his cup, and he just wanted to talk to a group of people who had to stay in the same room for 5 minutes. I was like that because that guy was just crazy. Turns out that's just somebody trying stand-up comedy who's not going to be good at it. I thought, oh, this is clearly a homeless guy. It was definitely a dude who had a full job and just was like, I'm going to try to be a stand-up comedian. Oh. So when he went up, I was terrified. But when he went up, I'm like, well, I won't be the worst person to go up.
That's nice.
Yeah, so immediately that took that off. I was bad, but I was in a room full of terrible comedians. And so So I walked out of there being like, I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again. I also didn't walk out thinking, because I'm the worst person to ever try this.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. Anyone who wants to try stand-up comedy has to go watch an open mic. You'll be like, oh, I can do this. I mean, no offense, but I mean, like, even if you're a good comic, you're performing for other comics, and they hate you too, so it doesn't matter. Yeah,
what's crazy is I saw comedians who ended up getting on TV, and I had only seen them in open mic.
Right.
You know, because in an open mic in New York City, you are literally in a room with somebody who is not going to ever tell a solid joke in their life, at the same time as you're in the room with somebody who is going to be one of the top comedians ever to grace the stage. You know, so I mean, like, in New York City, that's always the spectrum of every room.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've heard same thing in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, LA more, probably less, because everybody there wants to get in front of casting agents and that's the producers and write all that kind of stuff. So it's almost everyone's doing an audition there too. But I've only done stand-up comedy in New York a couple of times. I've done more, been more successful at it in recent years than when I did in the 90s. It was rough. I came up there all like, hey everybody. It's the first time I actually heard anybody actually use the word boo. Usually, nobody usually says boo. We were talking to Jason Solomon, who's going to be at the Comedy Vault in Batavia, Illinois, this Friday and Saturday, along with comedian Paul Farvar. We're going to take a break here. What's the best way for folks to find you? Is it Jason Solomon? Is the name on all Instagram account? I mean, all social media accounts.
It's J Solomon Comedy on all of my social medias, or you can jason-solomon.com. You can link to everything from there.
Spell like salmon, folks. We'll take a break here.
Spell like salmon.
We'll be right back after this with Jason Solomon on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, KTNF AM 950. Hello to everyone tuning in digitally as well. More after this.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
From city streets to political beats, you're driving it home with Patti Vasquez, where progressive talk fuels the ride.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our conversation with Jason Solomon. He's performing at the Comedy Vault in Batavia. You can go to comedyvaultbatavia.com for ticket information and the schedule. And that's in Batavia, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. And we're so thrilled to have Jason Solomon on the air with us right now. Engineer turned engineering business turned comedian. Is that the trajectory?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hiccups all throughout, but yeah, that's a succinct way to say it.
And you do, I mean, so you talk, I was born in 71, so we have a lot in common when it comes to the Gen X. I've talked a lot about, what happened in the 80s. We were kind of, I mean, whether it was music and MTV taking over, but also like my parents, my dad was a Republican, my mom's a Democrat, and it was a very challenging time. Like I always knew my mom was right. But when did you, were you politically aware when you were a kid, like as a teenager in your 20s? Was that something that you were paying attention to?
No, not at all. I didn't start paying attention until things started getting crazy.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
tell us about that.
I would, because social media started being the source of information for a lot of people. And I remember seeing a lot of people who had friended me from my high school on Facebook, and I saw them posting stuff. And in my head, during the Obama years, I was like, oh, these people have gone crazy. And I was like, oh, that's sort of sad that these people I went to high school with. And then at the end of those Obama years, things got more racist. And I was like, oh, and I was like, but then after Obama, then they started promoting Trump. And I was like, wow. I was like, he is apparently hitting a chord with people. And I'm like, you guys know he's like bankrupted almost everything he's touched other than his TV show, which is not his. It's like, it's a production of NBC. So I was like, and so I started having these discussions. And then when he got elected, I started having even more discussions because I was like, certainly he won't get elected. And then he did. Right. And I was like, I need to talk with people I know to figure out what are you seeing? What are you thinking? And granted, I will tell you this, that most of the smartest kids I went to school with were not in that group. Right. Because I think you have this thoughtful political person who could go either direction ideologically. And then you have a middle ground of people who just don't comment politically at all. And then you have this other side that comments a ton also, but they are just angry or they're emotional politically. And so I was sort of sorting out who was where, and it was fascinating because I was like, oh, I went to school with you and you were not good at school.
I've noticed that. I mean, like people who were bullies, obviously right out the gate, are Trumpers.
Because he gives you a shot to be a bully. Like he's like, hey, here's who we're bullying today. It's like a to-do list for bullies.
Yeah. And it's funny when we see these generational sort of conversations or battles or, I do kind of love the space that Gen X has taken over on social media as being the group not to mess with, or we don't care, or we've seen everything. Yes. But we have seen a lot, and we were raised a certain way of being independent. We are the generation that was outside. When I see kids on bikes outside, I'm like, oh, look at them being outside.
Yeah, I know, your heart just skips a beat. Yeah, I know. Well, it's weird because we towed that line between analog and digital. Mm-hmm. We towed that line between optimism and cynicism. We towed that line between company guy and gig economy. Yeah. We sort of were in the middle. We towed the line between war and peace. Mm-hmm. I mean, I one of my opening joke on my Gen X bit on my last special was about how I was like, we were one of the few generations that mostly didn't grow up experiencing war as children. Like most of my childhood was technically, we were not at war aggressively with, like there was Vietnam ended in the 70s. And then we did covert things and we bombed people and we did stuff, but we were never like engaged. I remember getting a call from a friend of mine when we went to Desert Storm in the 90s. Terrified because she's like, we're at war. What's going to happen? I have no idea how to process this because we had only experienced this sort of, if you weren't engaged politically, you didn't even know we had bombed people probably.
Right. Yeah.
So we had never experienced this we are at war world. And so the only stories we had were Oliver Stone's platoon of Vietnam, and so like that was all abstract. So like there was this whole stretch of innocence in there that was then shattered, and it was shattered in a way that developed a level of cynicism.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember CNN, they had like the night vision on cameras when we went into Iraq, and I was like, are we going with them? Are we with the soul? What is happening right now? It was very strange. Yeah.
And also the weird thing is Desert Storm was like weeks long.
Yeah.
Like we just sort of went in, we go, bomb, 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 out, we're done, we exit strategy, we're over, and the war's over, and it's like, oh, maybe we learned our lessons. And then,
Yeah.
Years later, that man's son taught us that we didn't learn our lessons.
Oh, exactly. Well, and I think 9/11, I was 30, so I had just gotten married.
Right.
I was just about to start my family, and it is weird to think like what that was like to have kids, a family. I had my whole life. I've gotten to adulthood, and
I remember reading a thing about a newspaper. I saw a newspaper headline. I probably didn't read the whole article. Let's be honest. I wasn't that. But it was basically about Gen X doesn't have a thing. Like there was Vietnam, and then there was no major thing until 9/11.
Yeah.
That was global. The Challenger. I think the argument was that the Challenger explosion was our only trauma.
Yeah.
That was on a grand scale, and it was a trauma, especially the fact that I don't know about you, but our teacher wheeled that TV set into the classroom and we watched a shuttle explode, and then they just stared at us as they slowly backed the TV set out of the room. And we're like, what did we just see? What did we just watch?
Yeah, it's very confusing. Yeah, because it
was a weird time.
Yeah, because you're 45, so how old were you when that happened?
I don't remember.
You were very little.
Exactly.
Because I was a freshman in high school, and I had an algebra teacher who thought it was the funniest thing, basically the hubris of man to be. I mean, it was very shocking. That part was, my algebra teacher.
But that's a person who grew up in the 60s and 70s and was chock full of cynicism.
Yeah, they were. Let's get started on my high school teachers at CPS, because we are very proud of our public school system here. But I had some winners. Let's just put it that way. We've been talking to Jason Solomon, who is performing at the Batavia Comedy Vault this Friday and Saturday, and he'll be joined by comedian Paul Farvar. You can go to comedyvaultbatavia.com. He's also going to be in Minneapolis at the Parkway Theater. You said I wrote everything up until the day. I just wrote October.
October 24th.
October 24th at the Parkway Theater. His comedy special is Biscuits and Gravity. Sorry, Biscuits. I just got hungry apparently. Biscuits and Gravity on YouTube, and he really is one of the funniest guys on social media. And part of it is that what I love is I'm gathering that you are charming people who might think that you think like them, right? The folks who might wear the red hats, because my husband, like after the election, he was like, should I shave my beard? I look like one of them. Like I voted for Trump,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do you feel that like that you are able to get into spaces with conservatives that might not otherwise be welcoming?
Yeah, I think it's got. I mean, yes, definitely. I will concede that my face is a Trojan horse for my belief system.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
I will
That's it.
100%. Yeah, no, I'm actually. I put out. I had a joke that went viral, and I'm about to make some merch that says January 6th face, Juneteenth brain.
I have seen that.
So I mean, it is, but it's a thing. There's a ton of people, and so I have a whole part in my act where I talk about being a progressive redneck and what that is, what that entails. It is this thing where you're like, you can, there's no strength in bullying people. There's strength in helping people, and I think that's the crux of it. But it's funny because I think if you talk to people, I've realized there's a lot of people who come at it from the same humanity. I think most people aren't mean because they are mean. They're cruel because they're scared or they're insecure and they've been directed who they can funnel that out at, because I view cruelty as a sign of weakness, not a sign of strength, ever.
I agree. What great work. And it's also, he's on his Make Laugh Not War tour. You can go to jason-salmon.com. It's spelled like salmon, jason-salmon.com. Sorry.
Yeah,
you
can say it like that if you need to spell it right.
Yeah, I was going to say, by now you're not sound like, and you can stay ornery. Presumably the shirt, January 6th face, Juneteenth mentality will be, is it mentality?
Juneteenth brain.
Juneteenth brain. That fits better on a shirt. Sorry about that. Face brain. Yeah, that makes sense. See, the specific. Nope. I still don't have it.
The fact that you still can't pronounce the specifics of the word specificity is, I think that's one of the funniest things.
I do. I come up right to a word and
one of those
and I still,
human things.
I still choose to use the word knowing I can't do it. Like
I love it.
I love
that you keep trying to tackle it.
I had to sit in a room just meditating over the word Adirondack for the longest time. Adirondack. My mom's from Mexico, and so my first 5 years, she spoke mostly Spanish to me, so I still get tripped. And sadly, I don't speak Spanish either, so English and Spanish are a mystery to me. Not fluently.
That's funny.
Folks, and we have listeners all over the country. You can go to his website, jason-salmon.com, salmon.com. That's he has gigs coming up in Omaha, Des Moines, Buffalo. We have listeners all over the place. Springfield, Missouri.
Actually, Omaha, Des Moines, and Buffalo.
Those are up past. Yeah, I should probably look at the dates. Duh. I'm not looking. I can't say specificity. You're not doing the Star Dome in Birmingham, are you?
I am.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I have friends that live in Birmingham. I'm gonna make sure that my friend Scott Stantis. Yeah, I worked there. I had to open I was the middle act for 3 weeks. Bruce and he fired me after the first night, and I had to win him over the next night. So I'm fine. I'm totally over it. I don't have any residual scarring from it. Jason Salmon, we'd love to check in with you again, even before your October date. Let's see what we have coming up. We can just talk about your gigs. It's gonna be in Nashville, November 8th. Zanies or somewhere else?
Zanies, yeah.
Zanies. All right, tell Brian. Brian, so whatever. We'll talk later. Thank you, Jason. It was a pleasure to get to know you. We really do want to check in with you again. If you're on the road and you want to give people a heads up on something you're doing, please let us know. And the shirt, I'm going to have to buy that for 1,000% for my husband. He'll love that. And for me, yes. I'll wear that too.
I will. Yeah, it will. I will have it up on the website in the next few weeks. I promise.
Love it. Stay ornery too. That merch is available on his website. Yes. I think that applies to a lot of us. I've got my unhinged woman from the Monaco Brewing Company collection.
Love it.
There you go. Thank you so much, Jason. Really a pleasure to meet you. And safe travels. Enjoy Chicago. I hope you get to get in the city a little bit. It's all the way out there in the suburbs, but you can come in the city, right?
Oh, yeah. Paul will bring me in. Come on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
I
my
love
God.
Chicago.
You're going to have Portillo's like every 15 minutes if you just hang out with Paul, is all I'm saying. Thanks. It's good stuff. Tell him to take you to Superdog. Thanks, Jason. Safe travels. I'll talk to you soon.
So much,
Take care. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you, Lady B. Thank you, Paul.